Imagine having a meeting in a skyscraper, maybe 20th or 30th floor, and suddenly there is an emergency like a fire, and you don't know exactly what to do. This is a real situation that can happen, and it is a fact that we hold events and we do ignore emergency briefing for our guests, for our delegates. It's very, very important that at the beginning of such events, such as training, workshops, seminars, meetings, that we brief the delegates of what to do in case of an emergency. Now, it doesn't matter who does that. It could be the building, the facility owner, or it could be the event organizer. Regardless, we must do this because that could save a life or lives. Yeah. So make sure that your emergency briefing covers the following. The first is to let the delegates know the sound of the fire alarm. Generally, there's a standard sound. However, this could vary from organization to organization, or organizations could have other emergencies that have different sound apart from fire emergencies. So let the delegates know what are the various sounds if they are different, or what is the fire alarm sound, so that in case of an emergency, they know exactly what to do. Now, why do these alarms sound? They may sound for three reasons. One is a real fire situation. The other may be because there's a false alarm due to dust or humidity activating the fire alarm system. The third scenario may be because the fire team or the fire department is testing the integrity of the fire alarm system. Now, for testing purposes, usually the building occupants are pre-informed of the date and the time of the testing, and they usually let you know that there will be no need for evacuation. So in the event that you are also a stranger in the building for a meeting, it's important that this information is passed on to such guests in the building. Now, once you let the delegates know of the fire alarm sound, it's also important to let them know whether there's any planned drill or not. Regardless of whether there's a planned drill or it would be a real fire situation, it is important for them to evacuate appropriately. Now, let them know the emergency evacuation routes, where to go, which direction, where the closest exit from the point of the meeting or the event is, so that in events like this, guests are not taken to routes that are longer than shorter emergency exits that are available, right? That is very important. And it's also important to let them know that it's not appropriate to use a lift during emergency situations. The lift may not work. It may trip during emergency situation or fire situation because of the fire, and you could be engulfed with fire. So do not use the lift. You could get stuck in there, and that could be very disastrous for you. And also let them know, especially if you have people with special needs who are on wheelchairs, let them know how they will be evacuated. That is very important because there's always a special evacuation protocol for them. Let the delegates know where the assembly points are located. This is very important, and you could tell them with the numbers which numbers are closer to the room where you are. You could show them pictures so that when they get out, they know exactly where to proceed to the assembly point. Let them know that there will be a head count at the assembly point. That is very important. And as best practice, if you're an event organizer or a facilitator, make sure you take attendance of your delegates at the beginning of the event, so that in cases like this, you simply use your attendance sheet to account for all the people at the assembly point. That is very important, and it's a very easy way of doing that. If not, if you're dealing with large numbers, 20, 30, 40 people, that will be difficult to, because at the assembly point, there are other people from other parts of the building that are also there. So it's very difficult to account for your people. Okay. And you need to stay at the assembly point until further instructions are received from the emergency services that the building is safe to get back into it, or if not, further instructions will be given to you. You know, so it's very important to give this outline to your delegates. You know, learn to practice this, and this could be a saver one day. All right. Thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe and then share this with your friends. And of course, if you have any queries, put your comment in the comment section, and I will respond to you the moment I see it. Thank you so much.